What's up, everybody? Rusty Buckets of the Two Buck Sports Show here with my Bucks 2 cents about Cedric Coward's shoulder injury. Shout out Chris Ingram and several others on Twitter for DMing me, asking me questions about the injury. Why are we seeing him dunking but not playing basketball? And so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to explain what's going on. So Cedric Coward, not quite a year ago, hurt his shoulder in practice. A young athlete like him is not an old fart like me and probably didn't do it reaching up for the rebound, but more likely kind of got undercut and fell awkwardly in practice, tearing his rotator cuff, which is a series of muscles, and his labrum, which are both in the shoulder joint. So I got a picture to kind of help explain it a little better. So as you can see here, the humerus is the arm bone coming up, forming the glenohumeral joint with the shoulder blade or the scapula. And the end of the humerus is blue because that's cartilage. Well, on the scapula, in that glenoid fossa, is what's called your labrum. And it acts as a cushion. It also acts as a kind of making the joint a little bit bigger to give it more stability. Because as you can see, the humeral head is way too big for where it articulates with the scapula. They give it like a golf ball on a tee, right? It's very unstable inherently. So the labrum kind of creates more surface area for the bone to articulate with, so it's more stable. And then underneath that AC joint, that clavicle, run your rotator cuff. There is some on the backside as well. But that creates what you need for like a pulley system to create stability in that shoulder joint. And so Cedric ripped part of his rotator cuff, most commonly the infraspinatus muscle, the supraspinatus are the ones that are torn. And then he tore this labrum that you see here on your screen. And so what they do is they go in and repair it with some sutures in the rotator cuff muscle and some anchors on that labrum because there is no blood supply. It's non-contractile tissue. You can't just rehab and strengthen your labrum because it's just cartilage. And so they go in and they anchor it, and then you got to protect it. You know, some of y'all may have had a rotator cuff injury. As a doctor of physical therapy, I've seen hundreds of them over the course of my career, and they're very painful to rehab. It's a long process. There's a lot of protecting and respecting of the graft. And then when you add in that labral repair as well, it's going to be a long process. But the same question comes up, but he's out there dunking and shooting and running around. Why can't he do basketball activities? Well, for one, that tomahawk dunk was awesome, but it was with his right arm. He hurt his left shoulder, his non-shooting shoulder, and that's the one that they're repairing and rehabbing. But if you watch those drills, yes, it's basketball activities, running, shooting, jumping, dunking, that sort of thing. But it's one versus air. That's much more controllable. There, you're just working on mechanics, proprioception, which means a fancy way of saying knowing where your body is in space, being athletic, moving again, getting that shoulder used to the jarring of running and jumping before you add in the element of contact and chaos that comes in a basketball game. There's so much ad-libbing in basketball that, you know, an awkward placed foot or not on purpose, but a trip, something like that. And down he goes on that shoulder, and we're right back to square one. Also, think about John Morant. He ran into that hard screen from Daniel Tice, messing with that AC joint, having that AC joint sprain that kept him out for a little bit. What if Cedric Coward does that, run it into Zach Edey, somebody like that, a big body like a Zach Edey or somebody in practice that we've got that compression on that labrum and that rotator cuff, we're right back to square one by re-tearing the muscles or rupturing where that labrum has been sutured together. And so they're avoiding contact until we're far enough out from surgery for all that to be healed. We likely are at this point, but we know the Grizzlies are very conservative. He was probably being very conservative heading into the draft to avoid any kind of a risk of re-injuring it in pre-draft activities. And so I think we'll start seeing him ramp up. Obviously, we'll start with 1-on-1, then 2-on-2, then 3-on-3, and work our way back. I wouldn't be optimistic if he played about him playing in Summer League. I also wouldn't be alarmed or disappointed simply because the Grizzlies are ultra conservative with injuries. Rotator cuffs and labrums are very easy to injure again because you think about how much range of motion your shoulder truly has, being able to go up overhead. It's 180 degrees of movement up. And that's a lot for a joint, and it creates some inherent instability. So don't be alarmed if he doesn't play. If he does, that's awesome. That's great. Personally, as a PT, I wouldn't want to see that. I'd want to be more conservative because you got too many heroes and dudes trying to play hero ball and earn a spot on the team in Summer League that it's a bit more chaotic. I'd rather him take the summer, do basketball activities up to 3-on-3, getting ready for fall camps, play with professionals. It gives you that much more of a run-up time to get it stronger, to get your body back in shape without the chaos that is Summer League and a higher risk of injury. Again, if he falls on that thing, it falls with his arm out like this and create those compressive forces, could screw everything back up and we start back from the beginning. So I think the Grizzlies will be conservative. I hope they are. I think that's best case scenario. But if he plays, I'm not going to be mad because I do want to see that shot in motion. I want to see how he handles himself in a professional atmosphere, professional style game. I just would prefer it to be in October. Y'all keep those questions coming. I am at Buckets_BCM on X. Hashtag Ask Dr. Buckets for all of your sports injury questions. Y'all keep them coming. We'll keep dropping these videos. In the meantime, check out ounceofhope.com. Code BluffCity. Get you 15% off your first order. Check them out at the Sanderland Center or in the Cooper Young District as well. And we'll see y'all next time.